Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel here. And recently, Governor Ron DeSantis made some huge announcements in regards to potential changes of the property tax system here in Florida, and that's what we're going to be covering today. There's potentially huge skyrocketing affordability for first-time home buyers, financial stability for retirees on fixed incomes, and then even relocating families moving in. There's huge impacts here that could cause a surge of home price appreciation, and that's what we're going to break down today in today's video. Hi, I'm Charlie Peterson. I run a local real estate team here in Central Florida, particularly on the north side of Orlando. If you're considering relocating here to Florida, or if you're a local looking to learn a little bit more information about your hyper-local market, please reach out to me on the phone number on the screen. We'd be happy to help you out. So what exactly is Ron DeSantis proposing? Well, here in 2025, he's proposing roughly $1,000 rebate on property taxes, because the government has been operating at such a surplus on the state level. The state level is able to go ahead and use the surplus that they've got to reimburse the local governments in order for the local governments to then give you a rebate on your taxes. And this is where it gets a little tricky. In his video, he talks about it coming out to be about $1,000 per homeowner, but I don't think he's actually talking about every single primary homeowner getting $1,000. I think he's talking about every single homeowner getting a rebate based off of the required local fund part of your property taxes. And here on the screen, I'm going to have a couple different examples of that. And this is where it could vary. So for some homeowners, that might be less than $1,000, and some other homeowners, it could be more than $1,000. But what he's talking about is getting rid of that line item and giving that back to you on the trim notice. Now, if you don't know what a trim notice is, a trim notice stands for truth in millage. And they send this out every fall to give you an update on what the millage rates have changed or haven't changed for your property taxes. And think of it like an itemized breakdown of exactly where your tax funds are going to. So the trim notice will be shown here on the screen too, and you can see that here. That's where you would see that rebate of property taxes go through. Now, that, I just want to make sure, or I'm going to reiterate it again, that's not talking about every single homeowner getting $1,000. I think he's actually talking about, on average, every primary homeowner would get $1,000 back on that. All right, so the second thing he's talking about doing is getting the state legislature to come up with a bill and a budget in order to help remove property taxes as a whole. And this would require a lot of work, and they would require a replacement of the local property tax funds somewhere else. So some of the things that he mentioned in his video on replacing that revenue from were tourism, so tourism taxes or additional sales taxes. And that would help supplement the property taxes. He also talks about in the announcement that local governments potentially could have some waste in their spending, and he wants to bring some efficiency back to that. And he states that it doesn't take as much as most people would think it would to replace the revenue lost by primary homeowner taxes being gone from the revenue stream. So it's really interesting here to see what they come up with, and it'd be interesting to see how it plays out, because as I know, and it's common sense to say, if you're getting rid of one revenue source, you can't just lop off that entire budget elsewhere. You probably have to increase taxes or revenue streams other places to help make up for that. Otherwise, you would be talking about losing your law enforcement, fire, schools, infrastructure, revenue, and for your local government. So they're not talking about getting rid of any of that or even cutting the budgets on that and restricting it. They're talking about just replacing it with another revenue stream elsewhere and putting Florida homeowners first. Okay, so how in the world would this impact the housing market? Well, this would be huge. Things would really surge price appreciation-wise pretty rapidly if in 2026, everybody voted to approve this bill that they come up with. It would be wild. Think about that huge line item. It's usually one of the bigger ones in somebody's mortgage payment or even housing cost is that property tax. And if you got rid of that, you would see first-time home buyers flood the market. You would see people relocation. They would flood the market, and affordability would go through the roof compared to what it is today. For first-time home buyers, I've helped several, especially like new construction communities or even communities that are city and county tax districts, and they could be looking at $500-600 a month in property taxes for $400,000 to $500,000 house. And so you get rid of $400,000 or $400 to $500 per month in property taxes, and now your affordability on a purchase price goes through the roof pretty quickly. So I would assume you get rid of property taxes, and we're in for a crazy market here in Florida. The other big thing behind this is for seniors or those on fixed incomes who don't have a lot to work with, you would talk about them being able to have their home owned outright and not be quote unquote renting their home from the government. And this would just provide a lot of stability for those in that situation. So it'd be really neat to see how they work this all out. Now, I'm not a big fan myself of, take away taxes over here and then increase it even more over here. So we'll see what kind of plan they come up with here. And I'm very eager to see that. Okay, so before we get into the exact changes and their effects, let's talk about how taxes currently work right now in the state of Florida. So taxes are locally governed and levied. So your local government, whether you're in a city tax district or just a county tax district, they levy it on the local level. And those taxes go to pay for your infrastructure, your roadways, your schools, your fire departments, law enforcement, local governments, community improvements, and so forth. So overall, they've got great things that they fund. However, what Governor Ron DeSantis is not talking about removing those by any means. Now, also part of your local property taxes, you have something called the Save Our Homes Act. And this act here, what most people know as the homestead exemption. And so for primary homeowners, not investors or rental homes or snowbirds, if that's not their primary home, just for primary homeowners, you get a discount of up to $50,000 on your assessed value on your taxes. And that right now is capped at a 3% increase annually. However, taxes are still there. One of the biggest reasons why Ron DeSantis is talking about getting rid of these is even if you have paid your home outright, your taxes can still go up. And he even compares to it in his announcement like renting your home from the government, because you never have true 100% ownership of it. So even if you have your home fully paid off, you can never get rid of the taxes in today's current structure. So if you're considering moving here to the local area, the north side of Orlando, please reach out to me here on the phone number on the screen. We would love to help you out. I run a local real estate team here, and whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, let's get connected.